all heard this phrase, right? Every end is a new beginning. And in order to begin this talk, I need to reflect on my previous TED Talk, which is called Simple Hacks for Life with Parkinson's. Now, in that talk, I spoke about designing products or solutions for my uncle who suffered from Parkinson's. But today's talk is about reflecting on the journey I took to get to these designs. So the big question that I'm asking today is, how can we design for those with special needs? How do we actually embed ourselves in their lives? How can we step into their shoes? How do we understand their everyday tasks and the problems they face? But in order to answer this question, we first need to answer a bigger question. Who fits the definition of special needs? And let's try to decipher this together, right? Special needs. Let's call them someone that's differently abled or disabled. So Oxford defines disabled as a person having a physical or mental condition that limits their movements, senses, or activities. Anyone associates themselves to this definition? Yeah? No? All right, what if I tell you that each and every one of us in this room fits this definition at some points in our lives? Let me explain. Now, of course, we have people that are blind. My uncle, for example, who suffered from Parkinson's, or someone in a wheelchair. They fit the permanent definition of special needs. Are some of you thinking of the time you broke your leg while playing football and were on crutches? Or, well, you broke your arm? Then you fit the definition of temporary special needs. But there's more times. Now, I know that most of you must have been carrying 4 heavy grocery bags and, trying to get through a door, opening the doorknob. It's hard, right? Very hard. I can imagine that you all have looked at your phone with the sun shining brightly on it and been almost blinded. You get where I'm going with this? It's not only your physical condition that puts you under this definition. It's your situation as well. So I call this the situational definition of special needs. So what I'm trying to say here is that if we define for the permanent disability, then we not only solve the problem for someone with a temporary need, but we also solve it for someone with a situational special need. So eventually, what we end up designing is we design for all, for each and every one of us. In order to design for each and every one of us, there's an approach. It's called the inclusive design approach. Microsoft defines this as a design methodology that enables and draws on the full range of human diversity. So this is what we're going to crack. How do we carry out inclusive design? Now, I want to reflect on 4 principles to follow when designing for special needs, when designing for each and every one of us. Mind you, this is really based on my journey that I took with my uncle, and I could talk for hours on each of these 4 principles, but I'm just going to give you a glimpse. So, principle number 1. What I was doing with my uncle the whole time was playing hopscotch, jumping into his world, jumping out of his world, stepping into his shoes, stepping out of his shoes. Now, stepping in, we all know that. The reason we do it is to empathize with the user you're designing for, understanding their everyday tasks, finding out problems that they face, and then solving them. But stepping out, why is that crucial? The reason to step out is because as humans, we really adjust to all the products around us. We adjust to everything that's around us, so we don't even see it as a problem anymore. So stepping out gives you that rational distance to even claim and understand that, oh, this is actually a problem for the user you're designing for. So stepping in and stepping out. Now this brings me to my principle number 2. Along with playing hopscotch with my uncle, what I was also doing was stalking him like a hawk. I was observing him thoroughly. I was observing him, yeah, while he was doing things, but without any interpretations. Now, most of you are looking at me, you're observing me, right? What did I just do? And I must be thirsty, right? That's what you're thinking. That's not an observation, that's an interpretation. The fact that I drank water from a glass is the only observation. I might have a really bad cough, or maybe that's just vodka for some liquid courage on stage. You don't know. So make the right observation to get the underlying meaning of why someone's actually doing that action. So that's principle number 2, stalk like a hawk. That brings me to principle number 3, on grasping the key insight. So once you've made the right observation, you actually get to find the underlying meaning. Now, along with my uncle, what I was doing the whole time was asking him why and how questions. Now, how questions get you to see a more elaborate picture, whereas why gets you to dig deeper, to get to the root cause. Now, my uncle drinks coffee in spite of tremors at home. So my question to him was, how do you drink coffee at home in spite of the tremors? He said, I take this big glass with little coffee in it, and that helps me drink easily because there's less spillage. And then my question was, why do you not drink in public or in front of people and just drink at home? And he's like, yeah, you know, I have control in those situations. I don't want to embarrass myself. Key insight, doesn't want to embarrass himself. And then I said, why? But why don't you use sippy cups, you know? There are solutions like that. And my uncle said, sippy cups? I'm an adult. Sippy cups are for kids. Key insight. And that brings me to my principle number 4. What my uncle said about sippy cups. He wants designs for confidence and not only functionality. Don't get me wrong, functionality is crucial. But what's more crucial is the fact that you're designing for confidence, because eventually we're designing for all. We've established that, right? So why not design for independence and for confidence and for human-centered designs? So that's what I wish to say here. Inclusive design and following these 4 principles will lead us to amazing products and solutions for all of us. Now, good inclusive designs are omnipresent. We all have been using these products and we don't even realize that they actually started from designing for a permanent special need. For example, electric toothbrushes were initially designed for people with limited motor skills. And guess what? They're now a common product in every Western household. Automatic doors, remote controls, even typewriters were originally designed for the blind and then took over offices during their times. So you see where I'm going here. There are so many products and so many solutions that we can design if we design starting from special needs and then expanding to all. So the next time you're designing a product, you're launching a new solution, you're changing something within your organization, you're changing the process in your organization, I want each and every one of you to ask yourselves this question. Oh, sorry. What I want to say in order to conclude is that to reach designs that are built for confidence, we actually need to grasp it, find the key insight. We also need to do that by stalking someone like a hawk, leaving our interpretations aside, by stepping in and stepping out of their shoes. And together we can really build inclusive designs using this. So the next time you're launching a new product or changing the process in your organization, what I wish for each and every one of you to ask yourselves is, did I involve someone in my process who was previously unable to participate? If we keep asking this question to ourselves again and again, then we together can build a more inclusive world with designs designed for all. And in order to achieve this, I wish to conclude with the motto in my life that I believe will help us to get to this world. Solve for one, extend to many. Thank you.